You're so insecure. So what if I'm friends with my ex? She mocked. So I sent roses to his place and with a note from me. She's allergic. What happened next? Well, let's just say it made her cry, sneeze, and lose everything. Hey Reddit, not really the type to post here, but this one? Yeah, this one deserves a spot. Let's just say I learned the hard way that when someone swears their best friend is harmless, you should probably listen to your gut. What started as a normal relationship slowly turned into something I couldn't make up if I tried. I'm Ben, 30 male. I've got my life together mostly. I don't chase drama, or at least I didn't, until Martha moved into my condo and turned my quiet, peaceful space into a 24/7 reality show. We'd been together a little over 2 years. The first 6 months, perfect. She laughed at my dumb jokes, cooked on Sundays, posted those "can't believe I got this man" pictures online like I was some prize she'd won. And honestly, I thought we were solid. Friends called us the power couple. Coworkers said I was lucky. And truth be told, I believed them. When she moved into my condo after a year, it was supposed to be temporary, just until her lease ended. But her stuff multiplied like gremlins. At first it was cute. One extra toothbrush, a pair of slippers. Then boxes. Makeup everywhere. Half my closet gone. You don't even wear half of this, she said one night, tossing my old jacket into a donation pile. That should have been my first red flag. She wasn't just moving in, she was rearranging my life like it belonged to her. Martha had this way of convincing people she was perfect. Pretty face. Confident voice. Fake empathy. She'd smile, ask about your day, make you feel seen, but she never really listened. I figured that out too late. And then came Chad. Her best friend, her ex. You know, the one who doesn't mean anything. Yeah, that Chad, the walking red flag in a hoodie. The first time she mentioned him, she said, "I told Chad about that restaurant you like. He said you have good taste." I remember staring at her thinking, why are we talking about your ex complimenting me? That's when the little things started happening. Texts at weird hours. Her laughing at her phone, then tilting it away when I walked by. And when I asked, "Oh, it's just Chad sending memes." I told her, "You know that's not normal, right?" That's when we had our first real fight. Not yelling, but something worse. She gave me that calm, patronizing tone people use when they're about to call you crazy. "Ben, you're being paranoid. Chad and I are friends. You can't expect me to cut people off just because you're insecure." I said, "It's not about being insecure. It's about respect." That word, respect, didn't land. Instead, she shot back, "Wow, so now I can't even talk to someone who was part of my life before you? That's controlling, Ben. Controlling." That word stuck like a splinter. She threw it around like it was proof she was the victim. I wasn't accusing her of anything, and I was just asking for boundaries. But she twisted it. That's what she did best. She flipped the script. And then came the tears. Real ones. Mascara running, voice trembling, hands shaking just enough to look sincere. "I can't believe you think so little of me," she said. "I thought you trusted me." And like an idiot, I backed down. I told myself maybe she really was just friends with the guy. So I made a deal with her, one I thought was fair. "Fine," I said. "Keep your friendship. But no secrets. I want transparency. No late-night calls, no surprise visits, no we just ran into each other nonsense. You tell me up front." She agreed instantly. Too easily, actually. Like she just wanted to end the conversation and move on. That night, I lay in bed thinking I'd handled it well. Like I was being mature. But deep down, something felt off. Her apology had been too neat, too rehearsed, like she'd said those lines before. The next few months, she was all smiles and sweetness again. Posting more pictures, buying me gifts, acting like the perfect girlfriend. But something had changed. She started controlling the narrative. Whenever we were out with friends, she'd joke, "Oh, Ben's the protective one," or "He gets jealous over my old friends." Everyone would laugh. But what she was really doing was painting me as the clingy boyfriend before I could even defend myself. That's when I realized something ugly. She wasn't just lying to me. She was managing me. She knew exactly which buttons to press to make me doubt my own instincts. She was training me into silence. It stopped being about trust. It became about how she made me feel guilty for seeing the truth. That's when the relationship started dying, not because of Chad, not even because of cheating, but because I finally stopped letting her make me feel crazy for noticing the obvious. After that, she changed tactics. For the next couple of months, Martha acted like she'd read a guide called How to be the perfect girlfriend after gaslighting your boyfriend. She cooked. She cleaned. She laughed at my jokes again. Even asked about my day and like she actually cared. And Chad? Gone. No mentions. No, Chad said this funny thing. Nothing. If I didn't know better, I'd have believed she changed. But I did know better. It was too calm, too quiet. Like she'd built a stage version of our relationship just for me to watch while she rehearsed something else backstage. At first, I let it slide. I had work deadlines, projects, real life to deal with. I wasn't about to become the paranoid boyfriend checking her phone every time she sneezed. But little things started showing up again. First, it was the canceled plans. Dinner reservations, movie tickets, even something simple like grocery shopping together. And every time were the same message. Hey babe, sorry, last minute work thing. It sounded harmless. But the tone, the timing, the pattern, all too familiar. And just like that quiet, uneasy feeling came back. That whisper in the back of my mind saying, she's up to something again. Can we do tomorrow? She'd ask and I'd say sure. But when tomorrow came, she'd act exhausted. Like she'd just spent the week negotiating world peace at the office. Then Friday night would roll around, and suddenly she'd have all the energy in the world for a girl's night out. Full makeup, hair done, perfume strong enough to knock out a horse. I'm not stupid. You don't go from half dead on Tuesday to runway ready on Friday without a reason. One night I decided to push back a little. She was getting ready to help a coworker with some presentation. I leaned against the doorway, arms crossed, and said, "You sure this coworker isn't named Chad?" She froze. Just for a second, barely long enough to notice, then forced a laugh. Oh my God, are we doing this again? I smiled, but my voice didn't match it. No, Martha. I'm just not stupid. You're acting sketchy. She didn't like that answer, mumbled something under her breath and stormed out, heels clacking like punctuation marks to an argument she refused to finish. The next week she swung hard in the other direction, overcompensating. Suddenly, I was getting random I miss you texts in the middle of the day. She even brought lunch to my office, just because. It was obvious what she was doing. That's what people do when they're trying to rewrite the story, trying to make you forget the part that didn't fit. After a while, I started noticing a pattern. Every time I questioned her, she'd tense up, disappear for a few days, and then come back like nothing happened. Sweet. Loving. Picture perfect again. It was like hitting a reset button on guilt. Then there was her phone. It started living face down, always. On the table, the counter, even the couch. Always screen down like she was hiding state secrets. So I tested it once. Flipped it over casually while she was cooking. A notification flashed for half a second, before she snatched it back like I'd grabbed a live grenade. Wow, I said. Didn't know work emails made people sprint. She glared at me. You're paranoid again. I leaned in just enough. And you're hiding something again. Look, Martha, I'm not playing this game. If I find out there's something going on, we're done. No long talks, no second chances. I'm not going to be that guy. That stopped her. For a moment, she blinked, like she didn't expect me to actually stand up for myself. Then came the switch. The soft voice. The sweet, trembling, baby I love you tone. You're overthinking it, Ben. You always do this when things are good. I'm just busy. Busy. Yeah, busy keeping up two lives. The next weekend, she said she'd be at her friend Sarah's house. Later that night, I called Sarah to ask if she could tell Martha to bring home my charger. Sarah paused, confused. Martha's not here, she said. She told me she was with you. And that was it. That was the moment the last thread snapped. I didn't yell. I didn't call. I just sat there, staring at the ceiling, letting it all sink in. This wasn't paranoia anymore. This was truth. I didn't have solid proof yet, but I didn't need much more. In my mind, we were already over. 2 days later, I was paying our phone bill online when I noticed a tab I'd never clicked before, Manage Devices. Curiosity got the better of me. Inside was a section for location sharing. And there it was, her phone still linked to mine from months ago. All it took was one toggle, click, done, no password, no warning. Just instant access. For a moment, I stared at the screen, half expecting it to ask, "Are you sure you want to catch your girlfriend lying?" I told myself it was for safety. But we both know that was a lie. I just wanted proof. That night, she did her usual routine. The fake rush, the effortless disguise. Yoga pants, oversized hoodie, Hair up in that I'm sporty and chill kind of way she always used when she wanted to look casual. Late class tonight, she said, grabbing her mat. Don't wait up, okay? Yoga? I asked, pretending to scroll through my phone. She smiled, proud of her excuse. Yeah, they added a late session. I nodded. Cool, don't forget your water bottle. The second the door shut, I opened the location app. The little blue dot, her phone, didn't move toward the gym. It went the other way, across town. I zoomed in. My stomach didn't drop, my hands didn't shake, I just felt calm. That cold, quiet kind of calm you get when your brain finally catches up to what your heart already knew. The dot stopped on a familiar street. Chad's Street. Late yoga class, huh? I muttered, taking a slow sip of my coffee. I took a screenshot. Then another one 5 minutes later. Timestamp and everything. Even labeled the file, Martha Yoga Session, Liar, JPG. I didn't text her. That's what she'd expect. She'd want the drama, the argument, something she could twist later into. You're crazy. I wasn't giving her that story. I just wanted facts. By 9:30, the dot still hadn't moved. So I closed the app and opened my bank account. If she was lying to me, I wasn't about to keep paying for her double life. I removed her from my Visa card, canceled every shared subscription, Netflix, Spotify, utilities, all gone. Petty? Maybe. Satisfying? Absolutely. Then I changed all the passwords for the electric and internet accounts. The condo was in my name anyway, but I wasn't leaving any doors unlocked, digital or otherwise. By 10 p.m., I had a plan. I wasn't going to confront her like some desperate detective begging for honesty. No. I was going to let her reveal herself. Let her dig her own grave so deep she couldn't talk her way out of it. At 10:40, my phone buzzed. A text from her. Still finishing up. She came home past midnight, keys jingling softly like nothing had changed. Her footsteps were careful, light, like a kid sneaking in after curfew. Hey, she whispered, voice small, rehearsed. You still up? Yeah, I said, eyes glued to the TV. She tried to play it off. Class was brutal tonight. My legs are killing me. Oh yeah? I muttered, my tone flat. Hope you stretched first? She gave a little laugh, nervous but trying to sound normal. Of course, why? You don't believe me? Why wouldn't I? I said, turning my head just enough to meet her eyes. You've never lied before. That hit her just for a second. I saw it in the flicker of her eyes, the half-second of panic before she smoothed her face back into calm. You sound weird, she said, laughing lightly. You okay? I didn't answer. I just muted the TV, stood up, and walked to the bedroom. Her gaze followed me the whole way, like she could feel the ground shifting under her feet but didn't know how or why. I wasn't going to confront her yet. Not like that. I wanted something cleaner, quiet, final. The kind of ending that doesn't need shouting to be unforgettable. The next day was supposed to be our anniversary. I'd made the dinner reservation weeks ago, back when I still believed she was the person I'd grow old with. Her favorite restaurant, fancy, candlelight, a waiting list a mile long. She'd been pretending to look forward to it all week. Probably texting Chad between smiles. So I went to work like nothing happened. No argument. No message. Just silence. Around 5, my phone buzzed. Her text popped up like a bad rerun. Hey babe, I'm so sorry. My boss just dropped a massive deadline on me. I have to stay late tonight. Can we celebrate this weekend instead? Love you. I stared at it for 10 seconds, maybe more. I didn't need to check, but I did anyway. Opened the app. Her location hadn't moved all day, still parked at Chad's condo. Her deadline always seemed to happen from his couch. I didn't feel angry anymore. Just clear. There's a strange calm that comes when you finally stop hoping someone will change. I leaned back, took a breath, and thought, all right, Martha. Let's make tonight special after all. That's when I called Eli, my oldest friend. The kind of guy who doesn't ask questions, just helps you set the stage. He runs a flower business, weddings, events, all that romantic nonsense. I told him everything in 30 seconds flat. He whistled low. Damn, man! You want something subtle or something that'll make her choke on her lies? Option B, I said. And make it poetic. He laughed. We both knew exactly what that meant. I told him to send the biggest bouquet of red roses he had, the kind that takes 2 people to carry. Martha's allergic to roses. Not hospital-level bad, just enough to turn her nose red and make her sneeze like crazy. She used to joke about it. If you ever send me roses, I'll know you don't love me. Perfect. Add a note, I said. Handwritten. Write this exactly. Hope your work meeting goes well tonight. Love, Ben. Eli lost it, laughing. Oh man, you sure you want it signed like that? Yeah, I said. She's expecting me to play dumb. Let's ruin her script. I texted him Chad's full address. By 6:30, Eli messaged back, leaving now. We'll call after the drop. I just sat there, calm. Netflix murmuring in the background. My mind playing out the scene like a movie. The delivery guy at Chad's door. Martha smiling, expecting takeout. Chad's confusion. The card. The roses. The sneezing. The lies unraveling. At 7:15, my phone rang. Eli's voice was half laugh, half shock. Dude, you're not going to believe this, he said. It was perfect. I leaned forward. Tell me everything. He painted the picture like a story. He got to Chad's building, buzzed the unit, waited. Chad opened the door in gym shorts, that blank, clueless look of a man who doesn't yet know his life's about to implode. Behind him, Martha, barefoot, hair messy, wearing those leggings she always called her yoga uniform. She looked like she'd just rolled out of his bed and into a lie. Eli lifted the massive bouquet. Delivery for Martha. She froze. Blinked once, twice. Chad frowned. Did you order something? She shook her head, panicked. But Eli just smiled and handed her the flowers anyway. She pulled out the card, read the first line. Hope your work meeting goes well tonight. Her face went white, then red. Then she started sneezing, hard. The kind of sneezing that comes with shame. Chad took the card from her hand, read it, and in that moment, everything clicked. The note said, To Martha, hope your work meeting goes well tonight. Love, Ben. Eli told me the room went dead silent after that. Martha was sneezing uncontrollably, stumbling over excuses between gasps for air. Chad just stood there, frozen, staring at her like he was finally seeing the truth for the first time. Between them stood that massive bouquet of red roses like a confession wrapped in petals. Eli didn't stick around to watch the explosion. The moment Chad repeated, "Work meeting?" he turned on his heel and left before something heavy got thrown. When he called to tell me the story, I laughed harder than I had in months. Just picturing it, her face red, sneezing her lungs out while Chad finally pieced it all together, it was poetic. Revenge in slow motion. Eli chuckled through the phone. You're a legend, man. Happy anniversary? Hope she liked the bouquet. When we hung up, I sat there smiling. For the first time in months, maybe years, I felt light. There's something beautiful about quiet justice. No yelling, no scenes. Just truth delivered with a ribbon on top. Then right around 8, my phone started buzzing nonstop. I didn't need to check who it was. Martha's texts poured in like a storm. What the hell is wrong with you? Are you stalking me? You could have made me sick. We need to talk, now. Then came the calls. One after another. I didn't answer a single one. Just flipped my phone face down and let it vibrate itself to death on the coffee table. A few minutes later, another text. It's not what you think. Please, just answer. Sure. Because that line always fixes everything. So I turned my phone off. Complete silence. The most peaceful sound I'd heard in 2 years. I didn't care if she sneezed for an hour. Didn't care if Chad finally realized what kind of liar he'd let into his life. What mattered was that she knew. She knew that I knew. And that it was over. That night I ordered pizza, kicked my feet up, and watched the game. No yelling. No explanations. No begging. Just me, my couch, and the quiet satisfaction of ending a relationship in the cleanest, smartest way possible. Before I fell asleep, one thought crossed my mind. Roses are red. And so was her face. The condo was finally quiet. No fake affection. No forced apologies. Just peace, but peace never lasts. Around 11, I saw her on the doorbell camera. Martha, standing there under the porch light, still in the same leggings, eyes puffy, nose red from allergies or tears, maybe both. She looked wrecked, clutching her purse like a weapon. I didn't move. Just watched her fumble with the keys until she finally pushed the door open. The moment she stepped inside, her voice cracked through the silence. What the hell is wrong with you, Ben? You think that was funny? Do you know how humiliated I was? I didn't even look away from the TV. Hi to you too. She threw her purse on the floor. You embarrassed me in front of Chad. You made me look insane. I raised an eyebrow. You didn't need my help for that. Her eyes widened. You're sick! You knew I'm allergic. Do you realize how bad that could have been? Yeah, I said calmly. Mild sneezing. Watery eyes. Maybe a rash. Pretty much what happens every time you lie. It shows up on your face. That shut her up. For a moment, anyway. Then came the tears on the kind she used to weaponize. Shoulders shaking, hands over her mouth like she couldn't believe what I'd done. I can't believe you did this to me. You invaded my privacy. You sent something to someone's house. Do you realize how crazy that looks? I turned the TV down and finally faced her. Crazy? You've been lying to me for months. Sleeping with your ex while living in my condo, spending my money, pretending everything's fine. I don't think I'm the crazy one here. She flinched, then snapped right back, voice sharp. You don't know anything. Chad and I were just talking. You always twist things. You're paranoid. Right, I said. Lots to talk about in yoga pants at 10 at night. Her jaw tightened. I can explain. Don't bother, I cut in. You've done enough explaining. I'm done listening. That stopped her cold. What do you mean, done? I mean, you've got 30 days to get your stuff out. Clothes, shoes, makeup, all of it. She stared like I'd spoken another language. You can't just kick me out. I live here. I stood up, calm but firm. No, you don't. Your name's not on the deed. You've been a guest here for a year, and the guest pass just expired. Her voice cracked again. You're throwing away 2 years of us over one mistake? One mistake? I laughed quietly. You didn't trip and fall into his apartment, Martha. You made a schedule for it. That was it. She stormed off to the bedroom, muttering something about me being heartless. I didn't follow. I'd already said everything that needed saying. She cried that night, slammed drawers, tried to guilt me into breaking. But I didn't move. I slept peacefully for the first time in months. The next morning I woke up early. The condo felt still, like it was holding its breath. Around 9, I heard voices outside, her parents, reinforcements. They barged in like lawyers walking into a courtroom. Her dad looked furious. Her mom was already crying. I cannot believe this, Ben, her mother said. After everything Martha's done for you, this is how you repay her? Kicking her out over some misunderstanding? I stayed calm. Misunderstanding? Is that what she told you? Her dad crossed his arms. She said you embarrassed her. Sent something inappropriate to a friend's house. I nodded slowly. A friend's house. That's one way to describe Chad's condo. Her mom froze. Excuse me? Yeah, I said quietly. She was at Chad's place when she texted me about her big work emergency. I just sent roses to congratulate her on her meeting. I'm sure you saw how that went. Her father's face shifted, anger first, then disappointment. He turned to Martha, who was standing behind them, red-eyed, silent, staring at the floor. Is that true? He asked. Martha didn't answer, just sniffled. I folded my arms. Before you give me the whole "how could you" speech, maybe know this. She's been lying about where she goes for months. I didn't yell. I didn't break things. I didn't even confront her. I just sent a message she couldn't talk her way out of. Her mom's voice trembled. Roses? You sent roses? Yep, I said. And that was it. Silence. The kind of silence that doesn't need to be filled. Heavy, still, final. Her dad rubbed his temples, sighed, and said softly, Martha, go pack your things. Her head snapped up, fury breaking through the tears. Dad, you're just taking his side. I'm taking the side of facts, he said, firm. Get your stuff. For the next 2 hours, the condo turned into a quiet war zone. Boxes, tape, the sound of drawers slamming, the weight of realization hanging in the air. Martha stomped around, throwing things into bags. Her mom helped, eyes burning holes into me, but she didn't say a word. Her dad just carried boxes down to the car, each trip heavier than the last. I didn't move from the couch. Coffee in hand, I just watched, not out of cruelty, but clarity. It wasn't my mess anymore. By noon, the last box was gone. Her dad shut the trunk. Martha stood by the passenger door, arms crossed tight. You'll regret this, she said, voice shaking. I gave her a calm half smile. Doubt it. She slammed the door and they drove off. The second their taillights disappeared, I finally exhaled. The condo was quiet again, really quiet this time. Not the tense kind where you're waiting for another lie or another argument. Just peace. I went back inside, grabbed my laptop, and got to work cleaning up the rest. Checked the accounts, confirmed every joint subscription was gone, shut down shared cards, changed every password. With each click, I felt lighter, like I was deleting pieces of her that had been weighing me down. When it was done, I sat back on the couch, the same spot where she'd screamed at me the night before. No noise, no texts, no tears, just stillness. And for the first time in months, that silence felt better than any revenge ever could. That peace lasted exactly 2 days. 2 full, blissful days of quiet, no calls. No guilt trips disguised as apologies. Just me and the sound of freedom. But peace never lasts long with someone like her. On the morning of the 3rd day, my doorbell camera lit up. I checked the feed and almost laughed. Chad, standing there looking like he hadn't slept in days. Eyes red, face twisted with anger. I let him wait. Let him ring twice before opening the door just enough to meet his eyes. "What do you want?" I asked. He ran a hand through his hair, frustrated. "We need to talk, man." "No," I said. "We really don't. You and I? We're not on the same team." He tried to step forward, but I didn't move. "You think this is funny?" he snapped. "You ruined my life." That made me laugh. "Oh, did my flowers attack your conscience?" He glared. "You think you're clever? Because of you, Jessica left me." She packed her stuff and walked out. "You happy now?" I leaned against the doorframe, calm as ever. "You mean your girlfriend found out you were cheating?" "Yeah, I'm good with that outcome." He jabbed a finger at me. "You don't get it. One of my neighbors saw the delivery guy. Told Jessica about it. She asked questions. Things got twisted, and now she thinks I've been sleeping with Martha behind her back." "Twisted?" I said, raising a brow. "You were sleeping with her behind her back." "That's not the point," he shouted. "Oh, it's exactly the point," I said. "And now it's your consequence." His voice got louder. "You have to fix this. You have to call Jessica and tell her it was a misunderstanding, that you—" I cut him off. "Let me stop you there. You want me to lie to your girlfriend to cover your affair? The same affair that blew up my relationship? Yeah. I'm good, thanks." He clenched his fists. "You're a jerk." "You think you're better than everyone, huh?" "Yes," I said evenly. "And smarter." His nostrils flared. "You're gonna regret this." That's when I pulled out my phone, camera already recording. "You want to repeat that for the video?" He froze. The tough guy act evaporated. His shoulders dropped. "You're recording me?" "Yep," I said, calm. "Smile for the camera. That way, when you do something stupid later, I'll have proof." He just stared for a moment, then turned, muttering curses as he stomped down the hall. I watched on the doorbell feed as he stormed off, slammed his car door, and sped away. Back inside, I saved the clip, labeled it Idiot Threat 1 MP4, and emailed it to myself. You can't be too careful when someone's just lost their backup plan. A few days later, I got an email from my bank. Suspicious activity detected. Turns out, Martha had tried to use an old store card we'd opened years ago, $2,000 worth of gift cards. The system froze it immediately. I spent half an hour with the fraud department, shut it down, and closed the account for good. I wasn't even mad, just impressed by her consistency. Even caught red-handed, she still found time to double down on stupidity. 2 days later, my phone buzzed again, this time a message from a friend at work. "Hey man, did you really stalk your ex?" And just like that, I realized Martha and Chad weren't done. They just started their next performance, a full-blown smear campaign. Apparently, the new story going around was that I'd been stalking them, harassing them for months, tracking Martha's phone, acting obsessed. That the roses were some kind of creepy gesture, not what they really were, a message she couldn't twist. I actually laughed when I read it. It was so painfully predictable. People like them never accept the truth. They just rewrite the script the moment they lose control. So, instead of reacting, I did what I've learned to do best. I documented everything. Screenshots of their posts, texts mutual friends had forwarded me, even a few voice notes. The pattern was clear as day. Martha was trying to spin her own version of events, and Chad, loyal as a fool, was backing her up. I didn't respond. Not publicly. No posts, no long explanations. Silence speaks louder when you know you're right. And honestly, the only person who seemed to believe their story anymore was Martha herself. Every few days, I'd get a restricted call. Her number. Never answered. Then came the emails. Long paragraphs that started with apologies and ended with excuses. I never meant to hurt you. I just needed closure. I deleted them all without reading past the first line. Then one night, as I was shutting down my laptop, another email popped up. The subject line read, You deserve to know the truth. Normally, I'd ignore something like that, but the sender's name made me stop. Jessica, Chad's ex. The message was short, but it hit hard. Hey, Ben, this might sound strange, but I know everything. I have proof of what really happened between them. You should see it. Can we meet? I replied with one line, name the place. For the first time in weeks, I wasn't cleaning up after Martha's lies. I was about to burn the whole web of them down. Jessica wasn't just another victim in their mess. She was the missing piece. And if Martha thought she'd already lost everything, she was about to learn what rock bottom really meant. We met the next evening in a small, quiet coffee shop downtown. Jessica walked in looking like someone who'd survived a storm, tired but free. She didn't waste a second. The moment she sat down, she opened her laptop and turned it toward me. I figured you'd want to see this, she said. And there it was, an entire text thread between Martha and Chad. Pages and pages of messages, my name sprinkled through half of them. Martha had written, he's too predictable. Pays every bill on time. Once I get what I need from him, I'm gone. Don't worry, I'll play the victim. He hates confrontation. Chad had replied, you sure he won't find out? And Martha's response, even if he does, I'll flip it on him. Guys like that always apologize. Jessica kept scrolling, message after message. Plans about money, savings, even furniture. Every line was a confession. I didn't even feel angry anymore. I'd run out of shock weeks ago. This wasn't rage, it was clarity. You kept all this? I asked. She nodded. I thought about deleting it. But after what they did? No, they don't get to walk away untouched. Then she opened another folder. Screenshots of Martha bragging to a friend about getting compensation after the breakup. Her exact words, he'll feel guilty and pay up. He always does. Jessica looked straight at me. I'm willing to sign a statement. Sworn, notarized. Whatever you need. I nodded slowly. Then we're done playing defense. 2 weeks later, a thick envelope showed up in my mailbox. Official letterhead, legal tone, the whole performance. It was from Martha's lawyer. According to her, I'd caused emotional distress, financial instability, and public humiliation. They were demanding a financial settlement to avoid escalation. I laughed so hard I had to sit down. She really thought she could turn her own downfall into a payday. I called my lawyer, handed him the letter, and said, make it hurt. He didn't disappoint. A week later, his response went out, short, precise, and absolutely devastating. Exhibit A, the doorstep video of Chad showing up uninvited, yelling and threatening me. Actual harassment, not whatever emotional abuse nonsense they'd made up. Exhibit B, the official fraud report from the bank showing Martha's failed attempt to buy $2,000 worth of gift cards, clear intent to defraud. Exhibit C, Jessica's sworn, notarized affidavit, complete with screenshots of Martha's own texts plotting to exploit me financially. The final paragraph of the letter was the knockout punch. If Ms. Martha does not immediately withdraw her claims and cease all defamatory communications, our client will pursue legal action for harassment, defamation, and conspiracy to commit fraud. Full damages and attorney fees will be sought. That letter went out on a Thursday. By Monday morning, her lawyer called mine directly. Case withdrawn. No apology. No explanation. Just quiet surrender. And then silence. Real silence. No calls, no texts, no whispers through mutual friends. Just gone. 6 months later, a buddy told me Martha was living in a small apartment on the west side. Lost her full-time job after showing up late too many times, bouncing between temp gigs. Word was she still mentioned my name sometimes, said I ruined her life. Meanwhile, Chad wasn't doing much better. Jessica had shown a few people those screenshots, and his reputation evaporated overnight. Even his own friends stopped trusting him. Last anyone heard, he was sleeping on his brother's couch, finding himself. As for me, life went back to normal. Actually, better than normal. Sometimes I'd catch myself laughing about it, how all that scheming and lying ended up collapsing under their own arrogance. I never heard from Martha again. Not directly. Every now and then, I'd get a spam email with her name listed as a referral, probably her way of pretending she'd moved on. I didn't reply. I didn't need to. Because closure doesn't always come with a big speech or a grand apology. Sometimes closure is peace. It's quiet mornings, bills paid on time, and knowing the person who tried to ruin you is struggling to keep the lights on. I don't hate her. Hate takes energy, and she's not worth that. I just hope that every time she smells roses, she remembers that night. The doorbell, the flowers. Chad's face. Some people get roses for love. She got hers for closure.